Peace to everyone out there in the internet universe. I am the one and only Shakori Shine, and welcome to my YouTube channel. As the fans go wild, okay, I have to get some effects going on. But yeah, you guys, I'm Shakori Shine, the number one gay dating coach in the entire universe. All right. And I'm on a mission to help bring so much love into our community, you guys. And love is not just a feeling, and it's before an action. Love is a consciousness level, right? And it's a way of thinking that determines how we behave. All right. So I just want to kind of get that clear out here in these internet streets. Okay. Now, in this video, I'm just about to really go in and drop some real gems and bombs on you guys on, are you the chooser? Are you choosing the one, or are you the chosen one? Okay. Because the reason dating is so hard is because we are not acknowledging principles and observing universal laws. All right. All everywhere in nature, when when there's mating happening, there's a chooser and there's a chosen one. All right. The chooser is the feminine element, or we can say the female, but within our cases, gay males, we'll say the feminine element, the one who is leading with their feminine energy. Okay, which will be embodied by the archetype, the lover. All right. So this is a card from my Bagua Oracle deck, and I will have my link to my Patreon where I will be doing relationship guidance using my Oracle. We can get lots of detailed information, get down and dirty. It'll be in my Patreon link pretty soon. I'll put that up. All right. Now, the chooser, again, the one choosing the one is the lover, but the chosen one is the negotiator. Okay. You see him. He's fly. He got rings on. He got his belt, his hat. Like, he's pretty fly. He's decked out. Okay. So they are a match. They're complementary matches to one another. All right. I'm just gonna say it. I don't want to see the comments. Everyone's masculine, feminine. We all know that we are all masculine and feminine. But when two elements are coming together, one is gonna be more feminine and another is gonna be more masculine. I don't want to hear about none of that kind of stuff. That's elementary at this point. All right. So what we're just gonna go in as, you need to be clear on yourself. Okay. When you're going out into this dating world, are you dominant chooser or dominant chosen one? All right, because that's going to help you move forward in your dating journey, okay, in your love journey. Now, I'm a believer in being able to flex both muscles. All right. That's true versatility. Being able to use both your masculine and feminine energies. All right. That's versatility. So, so in this, all right, whether you are the chooser or the chosen one, the chooser, okay, feminine energy is about allure, attraction, and magnetism, okay? And also the imagination. When you have access to your feminine energy, it's coming from right here from your right brain, okay? You are able to use imagination and magic, or the law of attraction, to pull and magnetize things into your reality. That's including men, all right? When you are the chosen one and you are using your masculine side, your masculine energy is about work, direction, moving forward, getting up to go and get it. All right. That is masculine energy. It's initiation. All right. It's pursuit. It's penetration. I know we like penetration, right? So that's what we're talking about right here. All right. Now this has nothing to do with top or bottom. All right. Because I just don't want to get into that. But you know, let your imagination play with how everything's gonna go. I don't personally think that it has to be one way or another, but we're gonna stay on topic right now. We're talking about chooser or chosen one. All right. So how can I give you guys the best examples of choosing using your feminine power? Okay, the first thing I can say is, it's like, you guys know that old cartoon, like the old Wile E. Coyote cartoon, where they would pull out the gigantic magnet, and the magnet would pull the nail towards it. All right. That's feminine power. That's magnetism. When you are the chooser, you're subtly using your energy to pull towards you that which you desire. All right. That's what's happening with that. It looks like the nail is the aggressor. It looks like the nail is the one choosing. All right. And this is something that not even people in the heterosexual community, they are having their balls bust over these types of things right now. Obviously, they have traditional roles, which some of those things are have their roots in principle and nature and all that kind of stuff. So they understand that yes, the feminine principle is being approached. Typically, the female is approached and the male is trying to be chosen, although it looks like he's choosing her. Choosing is saying yes, no, maybe. That is choosing. Okay. And I'm from the South. I'm from Houston, where one of my favorite rappers, Pimp C, he says real players get chose. All right, your bitch, almost because they would say she choosing. Right, don't get mad because she choosing where she really want to be, who she really want to be with, because it look better over here. We got more resources, we got more money, we got more that, we got whatever. Right, that's what the negotiator is about. He's like, you see what I got. It's kind of like the peacock. I got my feathers. I got this. I got that. And they want to be over here. Life look good over here. I'm smart. I'm funny. I'm charming. I can make a laugh. Whatever it is, that is you being the chosen one. When you're the chosen one, you have that charisma. You have that pizzazz, and you can initiate in the conversation. All right. Now, this is like giving real world examples. Okay. Because I love giving you guys just a little bit backstory on how these things work, how they've worked in my life. In the terms of being the chooser. Now I'm gonna give you guys one of my little secrets. I take a lot of honey baths. I bathe in honey a lot. Honey is it makes you very attractive. Think about what honey is. It's sweet and it's sticky, okay? Honey makes you very, very attractive to whatever it is that you can imagine, because imagination is a feminine principle. Um, whatever you imagine, whatever I imagine in a honey bath, whatever kind of guy I want, whatever, he's gonna come to me. I don't know how, but he's gonna find me. It could be online. It's typically in person. I mean, in person works very well. But your aura, when your aura is popping, your energy is popping, you are a magnet to the things that you desire. That is you using feminine power. Okay. I remember I took a honey bath. I knew I wanted to meet a guy one night. I went out with some friends. I didn't know the specific guy. Obviously, I just knew what kind of guy. And after I did my bath, I went out and we went to a couple different places, but the last place we went to is like, I could feel the vibes from this guy. He came to me. He came directly to me. He's like, yo, I've been looking for you. Like, you the one. Like, you gonna be my husband. I'm ready to be with you. I'm like, yo, like we just met, but you know what I mean? The energy was that strong. My energy was that strong. If you are using your feminine power, you are the cause, and the effect is you will see the effect that you have on the men. Okay. Now, a lot of people think that if you're attractive or good looking or whatever it is, they think that you're supposed to have 40, 50 people coming to talk to you. It's not even like that. You're supposed to have the one, two, maybe the three, you know, four coming to talk to you, because you are really going for a specific type of archetype. All right, you're really going for a specific type of energy that you want to come towards you, right? So that is one of my little secrets, the honey bath. And in my Patreon, it'll be a lot more of the manifestation and the magic in order to manifest um the type of love life you want, a man, because it all starts in here. I was pointing here, but it really starts here in your heart. All right. Because if you can see it here, if you can imagine in your heart, it can become a reality. All right. So an, another time where that was reversed on me, this is when I lived in Los Angeles, and I went out with my friends. It was like an LGBT night at like a skating rink, and we went out. And when I went into the line, I saw a guy, but I could only see him from the back, right? And I could see like his shoulders. He had nice, like broad shoulders, and he had a shaved head, and he was muscular, and it was just something. His aura was just popping. I was so attracted to him, like all the way his sweaters was like, hugging his body and stuff. I was like, damn, he looked good. You know what I mean? Like he looking good. So we finally get inside and I can see his face clear, and I'm like, and he's handsome. Like he is so beautiful. Like who is this guy? But I suffered from that thing within the community where everybody wants to be approached. Everybody wants, it's a mix of things, like people resting in their feminine when you should be flexing your masculine muscle, and also, fear and all that different doubts, insecurities, all that kind of stuff, which you have to get rid of because it's about your mindset, right? So to get back into the story, long story short, me and the guy, we did not end up talking inside, and I seen him leaving out, like he was walking out, and I'm like, oh my God, I missed my chance. I should have said something to him. Like I felt so like I played myself. But we it closes inside, the skating rink closes, and me and my friends will go outside, and he's the first person I can see in the parking lot. He's like standing maybe like 15, 20 feet in front of me. So I make a beeline to him. Like I go directly to him, and I walk up to him. I stick out my hand. I'm saying, hey, how you doing? My name is Shakori. I just think you're so beautiful. Like, what's your name? And his eyes, and I'm a tall guy, he's kind of looking up, but he's like real buff, and then he's so buff and handsome and beautiful at the same time. And he spoke to me, and he had like even though he was so buff, he and looked like such a man, he had this little Mike Tyson voice. It's so funny, but he was so cute, and we ended up dating for a couple months while I was in LA, and it was a really, really good experience. And he ended up telling me, he was like, later on, while we were hanging out one day, he's like, the first time you came up to me, and the way you came up to me, I just wanted you inside of me instantly. It was like, oh shit, you know what I'm saying? Like it's giving that, I had my hat low. I didn't have a shave. I just had some stubble. You know what's going on? It was giving very masculine, daddy. You know what I'm saying? Like it was giving that, but it was within our relationship. I was the masculine party within our relationship, like through the whole relationship. And it was very interesting because I am you, like my dominant energy, I am the chooser typically. But I was shown that you have to be able to flex your muscle and do both, right? You have to be able to be choosing and be chosen in our community. Sometimes you have to go for what you want because you're going to see this guy, and it's like, it's something about him. His feminine energy is so strong. It's just pulling toward, like you have to come towards him. You know what I mean? And like I said, with this guy, even though he was like, the chooser in our connection, in the feminine polarity within our relationship, he was a very like masculine, macho kind of guy. You know what I mean? He wasn't, but he had a very soft side to him too, which I really appreciated. And I think, we really worked that balance out well with one another. And that's the thing, how you start in a connection is how you're going to finish, which is why I believe it's good to go out into the world and flex your muscle on whatever it's going to be, but also know what your dominant energy is. Because what I've noticed, I have about 4 or 5 long-term couples in my immediate community. What I notice is that they have it's clear who holds the polarity on which side. right? I don't think that that has much to do with like mundane tasks, with like taking out trash and cooking and all the stuff that the straight people like to argue about. But it does have to do with like polarity energy and having your psychological needs met within a relationship. If you're a dominant chooser, which is your feminine energy, you are going to pursue a relationship in a certain type of way, which means that you are predominantly going to want someone consistently coming towards you. All right. Now, on the other hand, if you are a dominant chosen guy, you're a chosen one, you are predominantly going to want to go after your guy. All right. And I've seen it. One of the things I have seen time and time again, and I've even experienced of like relating with a guy who is a dominant, who's dominant in his chosen guy energy and his masculine energy, pursuing him really turns it shuts the polarity down. Eventually he's not even really attracted anymore. Some guy, like, it's a real thing. It's a real thing. And I think that, I know some of the straights are confused out here about polarity and energy, and they don't want to observe certain principles and let them do that. But let's not be confused about energy. I think gay men are way too smart for that. Okay. um Energy is a real thing. Now we don't, and I think we're also too smart again to argue over mundane things of who's gonna cook and who's gonna clean. Listen, whoever cooks the best cooks. Okay, it does not matter which polarity you hold. All right, but in the dating world, when you are out here dating, you need to know what is your dominant energy, because when you're clear on yourself, you become more like, it's like your antenna, you're sending out the right signals to the universe for things to come back to you or to align in your path in the perfect type of way. All right. Have you ever noticed it when you get clear on a goal, when you get clear on an objective, sometimes like things just start to kind of happen and fall in line and fall in place for you to make that happen. All right. That's what it's the same way with dating and going out into the world and looking for a man, right? When you know that you're a dominant chooser, okay, and that's where you not only feel the best, but it makes the relationship work well. It makes the dating process work well for you and him when you clear on who you are, and then you're clear on the type of men that are coming towards you. Typically, when I sit in that energy of the chooser energy, um, some some guys who are still mixed up, who don't understand these types of things, they will fall off. All right, and it's okay. It's okay. But the chosen one will always be the chosen one, okay? Because he feels good and comfortable in the way he is pursuing and the way he's approaching the relationship. All right. Like the chooser, typically feminine energy, is needing the masculine to come towards them to bring security. All right. If the chooser is going too much towards the chosen one, towards the masculine energy guy, and you're giving him too much security, it's going to drop the polarity. It's going to make the attraction go down. And his imagination is he's not going to be able to imagine anything with you anymore. And therefore, the relationship tends to not work. Um, I see guys get this confused all the time. I've it's a sad thing to see, really. Like, I think that um, obviously, because the straight community they're going through their ups and downs and battles and things like that, and the gender war and all of that kind of stuff. We are affected by that in our own kind of way, which is who's really observe, but these things, who's really observing principles, but these things are principles, and principles are universal. All right. It doesn't matter what body you're in. It doesn't matter who you date. This is about divine energy and getting like more of your psychological needs met and meeting someone else's psychological needs in terms of mating style in dating. All right. Again, the chosen one, the masculine energy is about getting up to do, going towards something, working, doing that, right? Initiating, penetrating, not stopping until the job is done. All right. Again, everyone should flex all of their muscles because eventually what happens in a relationship is when you get into a relationship, because the purpose of relationships is growth. I know a lot of times we talk about growth in terms of lessons, but there will be growth in terms of you being able to grow in your masculine or grow in your feminine energy. So the more that you can practice using both of your masculine and feminine energies by choosing, there's going to be some guys who come towards you and you're the chooser. But it's going to be sometimes some guys you're going to have to go to them and, you know, be the chosen one, right? Like, and that's going to help you become a much more well rounded individual. And when you get into a relationship, you won't have as many as many challenges when it comes to having to develop your masculine side or your feminine side, or becoming a little bit more androgynous, as in the psychological realm, in the energetic realm. Okay. you know um, in a book, one of my favorite gay dating books, The Alpha Beta Key to Gay Dating and Relationships, he kind of talks about this. In his words, the alpha will be the one who is using a masculine dating style, or the chooser, or I'm sorry, the chosen one, and the beta is going to be the feminine dating style, or the chooser. Okay. Um, when I guess I'll speak in terms of topping and bottoming. Obviously, anyone who is predominantly using their feminine energy um, is reported to prefer bottoming as their sexual preference, but it's not the exclusive role. But what they did find is that the guys who were choosers or feminine dominant, although their preference was to bottom, they would be verse or tops or whatever. They would experience bottoming as more of a spiritual experience or emotional experience, whereas guys who were predominantly masculine, even when they would bottom, because they would identify as tops or whatever, or whatever, like so passive aggressive, but they would identify as tops. um, Even when they bottom, they experience bottom as more of a visceral, physical thing, right? Like it wasn't as emotional experience as people who identified as being the chooser, which is, which kind of plays into my understanding of the chooser is looking for security within a relationship. All right. That's why the magnet has something coming towards it. And the more consistent that the chosen one is coming towards the chooser, and then the relationship will happen. But the the chooser the chooser has a lot of work to everyone has a lot of work to do on both of their sides, and that'll be in my Patreon. That's not going to be here on the channel because that's going to get a little too deep. But what you do need to know, and you do need to gather from this video, is that you should be clear on what your dominant energy is. Or I don't I've been saying dominant energy, but I'm going to say your leading energy now, how you're leading your relationship life. I like leading better than dominant. So, you know, whatever your lead, if you lead with choosing or your feminine side, or if you lead with being chosen, which is your masculine side, you should be very clear on that, because that's going to help you get into alignment with the type of guys that you really want to get into alignment with. Where if you are a chosen one, you want to be in alignment with more choosers. If you're a chooser, you want to be in more alignment with chosen guys. All right. Just by simply knowing that about yourself and being very clear on that, you're going to send out the right signals. You won't be one of these people out there saying, like, oh my God, all I meet is other tops, or all I meet is other bottoms. I'm like, you sending out the wrong signals. That's why. And you also don't know what to look for. So, you know what I mean? Like, it's just an interesting thing. It's just an interesting thing to observe. I mean, and to see happening in the natural gay world every single day. Just get clear on who you are, and also flex both muscles. Practice both. Um, I have a video on my channel about writing a love list, which is a very feminine thing to do. Is to get clear on what it is that you want to come towards you. Try the honey bath and magnetize it, right? Magnetize your list towards you. Let me know how it goes. And even for the chosen ones, when you know the perfect picture of what you want and what you have, you know, what you want for yourself in your life, the kind of man that you would want to be with, when you see him, go and get them. Don't let fear stop you. Don't let rejection happens. You know what I'm saying? It's not a big deal, but go and talk to them. You know what I mean? Get get some game about you. Real players getting chose out here every single day. So yeah, this is just a little video. I just wanted to put that out there. This YouTube is going to turn to my own little classroom. You guys let me know what you think about, this in terms of gay dating, getting very clear on your leading energy chooser. Are you choosing the one, or are you the chosen one? I think I might name this video that. But let me know down below your experiences on being of choosing or being chosen. Again, subscribe to my channel. It's going to be more stuff like this coming, and I'm looking forward to you guys seeing more of me. All right, peace.